Have you noticed that AI chat assistants like ChatGPT sometimes resemble a well-read and empathetic genius, while at other times they seem like a babbling fool who has had a bit too much to drink? In response to this phenomenon, more and more people are starting to research how to train a smarter AI chat assistant. Prompt engineering is the study of how to improve the quality and efficiency of communication with AI, with a core focus on the development and optimization of prompts. Prompts are the questions or instructions we input into the AI chat assistant, and the AI responds based on the content of the prompt. Before diving into prompt engineering, we first need to understand the limitations of chat assistants like ChatGPT. The large language models behind them are trained on massive amounts of text, so they excel at imitating human language and have absorbed a lot of knowledge from that content. Their responses are generated by continuously predicting the probability of the next token based on the prompt and the previously generated content. However, when it comes to areas they are unfamiliar with, they don't realize their own lack of knowledge. They still chatter away, trying hard to guess what should come next. Coupled with their inability to reflect during the generation process, we often see them confidently spouting nonsense. To train the AI to give the desired answers, the first method is few-shot prompting. Often, we simply toss a question or instruction at the AI. This is called zero-shot prompting, meaning no examples are provided. The results may not align with what we want. But if, before asking the AI to answer, we give it a few dialogues as examples to guide it, the AI model will utilize its in-context learning ability. On one hand, it memorizes that content as knowledge. On the other, it mimics the examples to craft its response. After applying few-shot prompting, when asking the AI similar questions again, it can provide answers that resemble the example prompts. Another benefit of few-shot prompting is that since the style of the AI's responses is likely to follow the examples we provide, we don't need to spend extra effort giving detailed instructions to the AI. It can learn and infer from the example answers provided earlier. However, few-shot prompting sometimes isn't very helpful. For example, AI is notoriously bad at math-related problems. Even if we use examples to demonstrate correct results, it often messes up when attempting them. In this example, the sum of all odd numbers is 41, not 37. The problem is that the AI takes roughly the same amount of time to generate each token. It doesn't spend more time on a token just because it requires more thought, so the calculation is muddled through, and even having correct example answers beforehand doesn't help much. In such cases, we can employ the chain of thought approach. Chain of thought was first proposed by Google in a 2022 paper, where the authors found it could significantly enhance large language models' ability for complex reasoning, especially in tasks like arithmetic, common sense, and symbolic reasoning. The method of using chain of thought is to include not only the correct result, but also the intermediate reasoning steps in the few-shot prompts we give the AI. Then, when generating a response, the AI will also mimic by producing intermediate steps, breaking down the process. The advantage of this is that smaller steps make it easier to avoid mistakes. It is like being called on by a teacher to answer a question standing up, and instantly giving the correct answer is quite difficult. But if you talk more, verbalizing your thought process, you can buy time for more thinking on one hand, and on the other, it helps us think step by step, increasing the chance of getting the right answer. Chain of thought can also be applied to many areas beyond mathematical calculations. With chain of thought, the AI can focus its attention on the current thinking step at each stage, reducing excessive interference from the broader context. Therefore, for complex tasks, it has a higher probability of achieving accurate results. In the chain of thought paper, the authors also mentioned that even without using few-shot prompting, simply adding a phrase like "let's think step by step" after the question can increase the AI's probability of arriving at the correct answer. This is a very low-cost method. Using chain of thought requires us to come up with example demonstrations, whereas this method only needs a simple added sentence for the AI to generate intermediate steps and reason on its own. A boon for the lazy, have you learned it? These prompting techniques can help you better train AI chat assistants. If you found this helpful, please please give it a like or save it. If you want to learn more ways to empower AI, addressing issues like outdated data, fabrication of facts, and inaccurate calculations, stay tuned for the next part. See you in the next video.